it's Candy. Welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to start on the process of making an apron. Probably not going to do too much of it today, so this will just be an ongoing process. You'll see me change. Currently I'm in my pajamas still. I did last night make myself a ironing board for my little handheld iron that I got. It's not really an ironing board, it's just some fabric with heat resistant stuff in the middle. We're gonna start making an apron, and what we need is a piece of paper. Basically this apron is going to have a top. Keep in mind, I'm not an artist. I'm not good at anything in life. So the basic shape we're gonna want is something like that, right? So we're gonna want a neck piece, two ties, a skirt, and a chest piece, right? Maybe a couple pockets if I can learn how to do pockets, maybe a utility pocket up here if I can figure out how to do that, right? Those are all add-ons. The base of it is just going to be the chest, the skirt, and the ties, right? For that, we need to take some measurements. And what I'm going to do is take measurements of where I want it to be, if that makes sense. So our first measurement is going to be across my chest, right? So I want the apron to be about 11 inches across. So I feel like I'm gonna want it to tie about here. So I want the bib part to be 12. I want it to come around. I probably want the fabric. Where do I want it to sit? Kind of right here. Almost halfway around, right? So that's gonna be 35. Okay, so we want 11 inches across the top, and we can have it come out in this kind of shape. If we do 11 inches, it's going to be 11 inches all the way down to there. We kind of want, at the waist, where it ties, we kind of want it to at least come out to here. Now that I've got some measurements, I'm going to go and like brainstorm this, draw up a little plan. I'm not going to probably do pattern pieces, but I'm going to draw it out so that I can follow it. Now that I've got some measurements, I'm going to go and like brainstorm this, draw up a little plan. I'm not going to probably do pattern pieces, but I'm going to draw it out so that I can follow it. Okay. So this is the fabric that I want to use for my apron. I picked it up at a thrift store, I don't know, a long time ago. It's almost canvas material, so it'll be really nice for an apron. Here's my drawing. So my little ruler here, 1/8 of an inch is an inch on here. So we want 11 inches up here by the neck, 24 across the skirt part. So we're going to have to go from 11 to 24 here, which makes us 14 inches. 24 here, 14 here. This is just a line so I could get the center. We're going to go a 16-inch skirt on the bottom. We're going to do 1/2 inch seam allowance on each side, so everything's going to be 1 more inch out when we cut it. So that's where we're going to start. Something I like about this desk here, it's got a little pocket on the side, which is perfect for my rulers. So they're nice and handy there. It's really nice. So, okay. So I think the first thing we need to do is get my sewing machine off my desk. And we're gonna cut some fabric. So I'm gonna fold the fabric in half, making sure I don't get the selvage edge in there. Ooh. Oh yeah. 33 wide, 2 yards. I got it at a thrift store. Okay. So yes, keeping in mind that I have a selvage edge, I'm gonna match these up here to cut them in half for cutting. So I'm just trying to get the wrinkles out of this. I'll link these rulers that I got and this handheld iron. It's great for sewing. It's working so well. So we've got our fold right here. What we need now is it needs to go down 12 inches. So, because, okay, so we want this to be 12. We're gonna cut it at 14 inches. Or mark it at 14 inches. So here's the bottom of our 14, and here's the top. From there, because we want 11 across the top, we're gonna go 5.5 inches, because remember this is folded in half. We're gonna line that up, measure out 5.5. Then down at the bottom, we're gonna want it to be 24 across, so we're gonna go out 12. So now we need to connect these two. Okay, let's get this cut out actually. I'm gonna cut this one first. Okay. All right, cut across the bottom. All right, so we've got our top piece all cut out. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. I have a thought. What if this is the top and this is the skirt? Or I make it reversible. Now I want to think. I've got the top cut out, which is awesome. The bottom is just a 16 by 24, you know, rectangle. So that's like no big deal. Y'all are working through this creative process with me, and I appreciate y'all. Also, this really pretty fabric. God, this is so fun. That's too busy, I think. Don't have enough of that. We're going through the creative process together, which technically you get a say because you're going to be telling me in the comments if I messed it up, but I want to go think about this. I'm so drawn to this with this. This is the skirt. So drawn to it. Really dig these two together. I am going to cut out another top piece. I'm going to make the top a little more sturdy by doubling it. And I'll show you guys that when I put that together. All right, guys, I'm back to my project. So what I've done now is I have two pieces of the chest part. I have them wrong sides together, or right sides together. And I'm gonna go ahead. Oh, I also went 2 inches in and cut a straight line here because this is where we're gonna connect the top and the skirt, right? So I'm gonna go ahead and from this whole piece, I'm gonna sew all around the outside. I'm gonna leave this part open for when we connect everything. All right, so we've got the top. It's a mess in here a little bit. So the measurements worked out great. We're gonna put something to go around the neck there. Then it comes down here, and then the skirt's gonna be hooked on right here. So I think what we're gonna do is maybe fold this, come here, fold this under, come here. So we get like a, just whatever. We're gonna fold this under like that. And then we'll put the skirt in here and sew a nice top stitch across. And I think it'll be great. This is sewn. I've just got this because I haven't pressed it yet, so I wanted to keep the seams nice. But yeah. Shell, what do you think? So that's what I'm thinking. It'll be right there. 24 across and about 15 and a half long. I've got it folded in half here that I've sewn over. This is going to be the bottom of the skirt. So I've got it right sides together. I'm going to take a stitch and go along this edge and along this edge. And then we're going to connect the two pieces up here. I thought I was recording, but I wasn't. So here's the top. It's all sewn together. The bottom is sewed together. The top of the skirt is not sewn. And it's folded at the bottom so that we get a little more fullness in it. So what I'm doing now, trying to kind of decide if I'm going to roll this hem or roll this hem to put it inside. I feel like I want the skirt inside the top, right? So what we're looking at is tucking the skirt there and doing a decorative stitch across here. Okay, so I've got that seam all pressed in, right? And what I've done is I've tucked the skirt in on both sides. So now I'm gonna find my center. And I'm gonna get that tucked in where I want it. I wanna make sure I pin right there in the middle. Okay, so then we've got this fabric here that we can pin across here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna, I don't know if this is how you do it. This is how I assume it's done. I'm gonna grab it and gather, and then I'm just going to fold over the excess there and pin it all up in here. So from here, go like that. All right, same thing over here. Let's see if I can show you guys a little bit better. So we take the fabric that we've got, push it down. This is our excess. See that? Fold it over. I folded them both towards the inside. And then, oops. I was like, why is that working? So basically we're just tucking it in between those two pieces of fabric. Again, I'm no expert, y'all. I'm going by my knowledge of sewing and how it works. And that's about it. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and do a nice, probably 2 rows of stitches across here. And then we'll move on to the neck strap and the ties. Wanted to use scraps. So what I've done is folded this part over, folded this part over, and now I'm just going to press it. It's going to be about that thick. I'm going to run a stitch through it. Alright, here is my finished apron. Bring it around and tie it. Oh my gosh, I did not leave enough room to tie. That's okay. For someone smaller, it'll be fine. But there it is. It's not great, but it's an apron, and it'll keep me covered when I'm trying to cook. Guys, I made an apron. Like, even if I just tie this cutely in the front. Huh. Okay. Well, I should have made this part smaller. I probably could kind of hem that. Maybe do that up here. But it's cute! I don't know. I like it. Maybe you guys can tell me, like, how you would have done it differently. But here's my neck strap that I made. And then I just used ribbon down here. What do you guys think? And what's nice, you can wear it either way. You can wear it this way or this way because we made everything double-sided. I don't know. I'm excited. it is Saturday night. We have kiddo. They're out there. He loves fettuccine Alfredo. I obviously can't eat gluten, so I could not find any fettuccine that was gluten-free. I found a lot of like curly pasta and penne. So those are the two that I've found. Probably should go over to Trader Joe's again. I want to get some gluten-free freezer waffles. I don't know why. Sometimes at night, that's a snack I want. A freezer waffle. A crispy, lovely freezer waffle. But like, is it Vans? Disgusting. I hated it. Okay, let me take that back. The blueberry ones were okay. The plain home style ones, terrible. Okay, I unplugged that iron. I wanted to make a double check. So anyway, I made that apron. I know there are a lot of mistakes in it. That was me, my first time doing something without like a pattern or without watching someone else do it. Just me taking some of my knowledge and putting it together. So I don't, this may be before that. Maybe I'll preface this video with that. No, I don't do that. I don't do that. I let you guys watch it, and then I commit at the end, and then I'll excuse me, I will cut it off before my old ending. And anyway, so I've been sitting here tonight and I was just kind of bored, and I had saw a TikTok video and they made this cute little card wallet, and so I came in here and just threw one together with the same material that I used. I even installed a snap and a button. I was trying to do a buttonhole so I could put the button on there and, you know, blah blah blah, but my machine doesn't do buttonholes. That's like a special setting. So then I got on this tangent of this stuff. I'm pretty sure I showed you guys this stuff, this vintage Kenmore stuff, and I was like, I'm gonna look up what this fits, because this has a presser foot, this has buttonholers, like so much stuff, right? And maybe I'll just like get that machine. That's how my brain worked, right? So I found a couple on eBay, called Cody, and he's like, well, how much is it to get your machine to make a buttonhole? And I was like, oh, I don't think it's capable of it, but I'll check. And it doesn't look like it is. This is a very, very basic sewing machine. And so he finally talked me out of it. No, he didn't have to talk me out of it, but he talked a little bit of sense into me, and I was like, right, that's not a smart move. So what I'm gonna do is stick with my simple machine, which, oh, I gotta put my presser foot back on. I forgot I took it off so I have this. So I have a little buttonholer thingamabobber, but this is for a different type of machine. My machine can't do this. So maybe some, you know what I did? I Google lensed this to see if I could figure out how to use it on my machine. And you have to have special settings, blah, blah, blah. So I do have a bunch of different feet, so I think maybe tonight I'll sit here and figure out if my machine can use them. And if so, you know, what capacity can they be used? Like, what are they for? I believe this one helps you stitch in the ditch so that you have a really nice seam. Anyway, I made a little snappy little card wallet, and I'm proud of myself. I'm proud of myself for my apron, even though it's a little bit wonky, and I can do better next time. But I guess the entire reason for my channel is for me to share my life and maybe make some mistakes so you guys don't have to. Why am I getting all teary-eyed? What's running through my eyes? I wasn't getting upset. That's weird. So, some of my mom's vintage snaps got used. Oh, I have to tell you guys. She called me the other day and she was like, oh, I just got done watching your video. And I was like, oh, really? Which one? And she was like, oh, you're sewing one. And I looked and those are my hands. And I was like, excuse me, ma'am? What? And she's like, your hands look exactly like my hands. The veins and like, I guess we both have very prominent veins in our hands. So I told Cody today, I go, the older I get, the more and more I get like my mom. Like I understand more and more how like frustrated she could get and what she was talking about sometimes when none of us understood, and how sometimes she couldn't understand us. And my mom had her own special language. We called it Shirley Ease because her name is Shirley. And it just like little words. So like Cody and I were in the car the other day and he was telling me about work and he was going to Enumclaw, and in my head I'm screaming Cleellum, and I verbally said Cleellum this time. I'm not autistic. Anyway, so I verbally said it that time. He's like, no, honey, Enumclaw. And so I explained it to him, and he's like, oh, okay. And then he goes about his day, and we're still driving, and about 5 minutes later, I'm laughing to myself about my mom and Cleellum, Enumclaw, the mix-up. So let me tell you the story. We went to Leavenworth as a family every single year for like a 10 to 12 year span. Even when we got married, we went as couples, right? And we passed through Cleellum. We always stopped there and we had breakfast at the Sunset Cafe. That's just what we did. But every year, without fail, my mom would call it Enumclaw. Every year. Enumclaw is another city in Washington. This further a different way. So it's a silly little family thing, and it made me giggle, and I hope that my nephews or kiddo has some of these stories to tell about me. Oh, that's why I wanted to talk to you guys about something. I've talked a couple times about how me not having kids, what am I passing on, right? And so this week, I'll take you into our bedroom and I'll show you what we did. We hung up a quilt that my aunts made when I got married. Roger and I had never used it. It just sat because I was like, it's so special, I can't use it. What? And it just sat when I was in Longview. And we got here and I was like, why am I letting this beautiful quilt made with so much love, I'm sorry, this ties into some events that happened today. So it was made by my Aunt Lois, who's no longer with us, who I love so terribly much, and my Aunt Linda, who is her sister. They were like attached at the hip, like not twins, they were like blonde and brunette. One skinny, one a little chubby. They were my favorite aunts. Like, I can say that. So my Aunt Linda lost her husband yesterday. And I wasn't super close with him, but I feel awful for her. So I'm gonna get a card, send her a letter. Because I feel a little guilty not keeping in touch. Because I want my nephews to keep in touch with me. Alright. So I finally said, you know what, Cody? We have this terrible echo in our bedroom. We moved our bed and it got even worse somehow. I don't know how. But yeah, we have this terrible echo in our bedroom because it's such a box. In here, there's so much stuff. We don't have any art on the wall in our bedroom. I don't know why. We've kind of made it this kind of quiet place, if that makes sense. We kind of left it there to just be a quiet place. Because when I lived in Longview, everything was in one room. It was just overwhelming sometimes, right? And so, my aunt, why were we talking about that? Here goes my ADHD. Anyway, I hung up I told Cody, I said, I don't want to just keep this in the closet. I want to look at this. It's beautiful. It's floral. And when we took it out, It's huge. It's like a king size quilt, right? So we hung it on the wall and it takes up almost the entire wall. Like almost the entire wall. I'll take you guys in there. And it made me cry when we put it up because I was like, oh, I miss my Aunt Lois and she made this with so much love and it's just been sitting in my closet. So then that got me thinking about like all of the stuff that I just have because my mom has given me or my grandma has given me that's just sitting there. And I think I'm getting to this point where like, why am I keeping all of this? It's not crap. But it's just stuff. And like a lot of it is like, okay, I have a small square storage thing that my grandma gave me that is an entire set of like Christmas plates and like silver, I don't think they're silver, I think it's like plates and bowls and cups and stuff like that, right? And sure, one day I might have a house, and sure, one day I might serve a dinner on those, but like, why am I keeping them in a closet? And I thought about my Funko Pops, and Leo loves a lot of them, but he's been like putting them up in his room and stuff. And so I said, well, I got some more for you because I'm gonna get rid of some of these. And I took some out of their boxes because I don't collect those to intend to sell them and make money on them. That's not why I keep them. It's because they mean something to me. And I want to see them. I want them on display. That's why I bought them, because they're adorable and I love them, right? Or they're connected to a character that I like, or a movie, or a public figure. And so I took some out of their boxes and I displayed them in our bedroom on this new shelf that we got to like hold our TV in there. Again, I'll take you in there and show you. So anyway, that all to be said. My mom called me, or texted me and my sister today, that one of our second cousins passed away. He'd been having some liver and kidney stuff, and he just hadn't quite been the same since he lost his wife to cancer a few years ago. And that got me thinking about my aunt, who is not doing okay. So all through this, my aunt has been super positive, and we've been able to keep her upbeat, and you know, she talks about good and bad days, but she's not talking like that anymore. Since she got out of the hospital, she apparently has not been getting any better. She's in fact been getting much weaker and almost fully unable to take care of herself. I don't know. I guess I just want to say fuck cancer and kidney disease. Yeah. I've been going through just like a lot. Work has been slow. There hasn't been a ton of stuff for me to do day to day, and I'm trying to keep upbeat about it. But I talked to my boss a few months ago, and I was like, I'm probably gonna look for something part-time or something, just because I feel bad sitting there not being productive for the company when there's literally nothing else for me to do and no one has anything they can pass off to me or I can help them with. So there's just some days where it's just like twiddling my thumbs, and I feel like I'm stealing from them if I'm not being productive on the clock. And so I told her I was probably going to look for something part-time, and so I checked with HR, and I just had to make sure that I was doing 32 hours, which just kind of gives me one day. But I did apply for a couple different jobs. I don't know. A friend of mine suggested me for a job down in Centralia. And that looked kind of cool. So I put an application in for that. But I don't know. We'll see what life brings us. I guess I started all of this to say, I'm gonna keep some of my mom's special stuff, of course, but I think we might see some crafts coming with some of my mom's, like, I don't know if any of you guys remember, like, tiara glassware. Some of my older viewers will probably remember this, like, Princess House and tiara, and I think they were sold by Home Interior. I don't have any of them in here. Oh, I'm gonna go grab one and we'll walk through and I'll show you the bedroom. Okay, so this is the quilt. It goes from floor to ceiling, but it's gorgeous. And then we've got like all sorts of different stuff. Ursula has her own cubicle. So the doll had started as a Halloween decoration. This one here, duh. And Leo is super scared of it, so every time he comes over, I have to hide it. So I just decided to just bring it in here. It doesn't spook me. And then I've got my pink elephant to go with my tattoo. And then Beauty and the Beast, Ariel, Aladdin, and Jack Skellington, and then the video game Borderlands, which Tony and I have been playing together because Borderlands 4 came out. And then here is the bowl I was talking about. This is just one of 4 bowls, 4 salad plates, 4 dinner plates, 4 parfait cups, a platter, a decanter without a top, 5 small wine glasses, or like little sipper cups, like shot glass type things. I tried to sell them on Facebook Marketplace. No interest. So I don't know. I guess I could donate them. But I'm going to take some of them and I'm going to make a tiered tray to like serve appetizers or something on. I'm hoping to have it done by Christmas. I bought glass cutting diamond tipped drill bits to do the hole that I need through them, and I thought I could do that on a towel in my sink with water running, like dribbling, because you gotta keep it cold, like wet. Anyway, I'm gonna go now. I spilled a lot of emotion on you guys and I'm really sorry. I don't know what you'll see of that apron now that I've emotionally dumped on you, and this could be its own video. We'll see what's going on. Anyway, I love you guys. I'll see you in the next one.